Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live with Clyde. Clyde's chomping at the bit. He wants to put it out there, get the audience interacting. And I was just telling Clyde there, I was watching a documentary on crystal meth in America. Meth USA it was called. Clyde, how are you? How are you, Clyde?
Good. Actually, an early start to the weekend and the unofficial start to the 4th of July holiday.
And you're America's favorite pro bono lawyer?
No, pro bono means for free, and I don't like doing shit for free.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You're not looking for pro bono work. That's what you're saying to me.
That is correct. I usually find it whether I want to or not.
Now, you've come back, you've gone to the... I'm feeling a bit down myself. I've got to be completely honest with you. All my friends are getting good deals, and I can't find any, and I don't have any money either. I don't have any money, and I can't find any deals. I suppose it could be worse. I could find good deals but not have any money, and then I'll be really upset, you know? So... look, I've had some good deals. I got a friend of mine he went down to Melbourne and he bought a. Listen to this. Listen to this. I want to share. I'll share it with you. Okay, let's share this. Okay, I'll show you what a friend of mine just bought in wristwatches. Okay.
Okay.
This is a good friend of mine. He's. I'm just going to bring up the screen. Just bear with me. Share. Okie dokie, here we come. Da da da. Here we go. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
Breguet Type 20, right?
Right.
Now let's have a look at this here. It's a Breguet Type 20. It's the air and veil, so that means it doesn't have the date at the 6, the transatlantic. But I actually like this model better because I think it's cleaner without the date. Mm-hmm. It's also got the polished bezel as opposed to the matte one, which the one with the date has. But that's irrelevant. Look, let's look at the fundamentals. This watch, 2016, warranty until November 2018. Okay, right?
Right.
Let's have a look at this piece. This watch is absolutely presto. Look at this, pristine condition. Original leather strap, deployment buckle, box. It's missing the cushion. It is missing the cushion, but so what? You could put a generic cushion in there eventually, can't you?
Right.
Box papers, still under manufacturer's warranty. You know what he paid for this?
How much?
$5,990. That's Aussie. That is Aussie dollars. Aussie dollars. And if it's
Aussie,
that's about 4,000 US.
I thought it would be Aussie, like, you know, Aussie Osborne, or the Wizard of Oz.
Well, you could pronounce actually 4,600 real American dollars. 4,600 for a like new. Do you understand? Like new. Like new piece. That's a very good buy. I think that was good buying, right?
Right.
And I told him I actually paid more for my Breguet. When I bought my Breguet, I paid more than that. Not as new. So that's a bargain buy. I've got you bought your black Polar for
right.
What was it 3,200, was it?
No, 3,100.
3,000. That's a bargain, absolute bargain. I can't sell a thing. The best thing to come my way was actually, I got to tell you honestly, I'm actually having a lot of luck. Do you believe in superstition? Do you believe in like a watch can have a karma to it, or you don't believe in that mumbo jumbo crap?
Well, I almost think it's kind of like the...
I'm not superstitious, but I've actually had a lot of good luck happen to me.
There's a lot of power in the mind. There's a lot of power in belief.
No. I actually wanted the World Time to be my lucky watch, but I got to be honest with you. It's the IWC that's, I don't know what it is. It's just it's good things happen to me.
Ride the wave.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I was going to say something on the live comments. We're talking about the 4th of July weekend starting. Kurt Rafferty, listening to Clyde R and Archie and watching NASCAR. Saturday nights cannot get any better. So ArchieLuxury and NASCAR on the 4th of July. Hey,
you can't get better than that. Those NASCARs, they are loud cars. That's fantastic. That's a real cool. That's a real American comment, you know.
It is.
Now,
well, is the Breguet Type 20 is one of your consistent pieces of advice, the papal dogma, the doctrine, the teachings of the Pluto Horological Institute of Swiss timepieces.
Yes.
Is by the icons. Is the Type 20 a Breguet icon?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, definitely. Well, look, the traditional Breguets are like a precious metal, big money sort of pieces. But this is just so cool. I've got to tell you the truth. I never was into chronographs.
Right.
Okay, I was never into chronographs. I didn't get it. Like in the 90s, when I had money, I didn't even want a chronograph. Didn't like Omega chronographs. Didn't like the Speedmaster. Didn't like I didn't understand them. Right.
Right.
Early 2001, I saw my first Breguet Type 20, and it changed. I thought, that is just so cool. Such a beautiful watch. And I mean, look, I got to be honest with you. Breguet is really relying on its previous laurels. They were a fantastic brand. They were a brand as good as Patek in the day, okay?
Right.
But I got to be completely frank and honest with you. Modern Breguets, not really like vintage Breguet, okay? They went broke. They were acquired by the Swatch Group, okay?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, that's okay. It could be worse. It could be Richmond.
True.
And I suppose, look, there's a lot of good things going for that Breguet Type 20. Swatch also owns Lemania. Now, Lemania as a watch brand isn't really that special. It's a bit like Zenith. You know, Zenith, just hang on one tick there.
Okay. Urbex fan, Archie is the Patek of watch review channels.
Ah.
What the hell is that?
A little bit of morning pizza. A little bit of morning pizza being delivered to me. I made it last night. I made that last night, by the way.
Oh, nice. Well, it looks.
I've been watching Tony Soprano reruns, and I got addicted to Italian food.
Well, I hung with a lot of Italian kids when I went to undergrad, so yeah. Their dads were all barbers. I don't know how that came about, but okay. If Charles Lewis, how many times you've dropped the soap this week? 0. Bunch of comments. There's a bunch of buzz on the boards that a competitor may have been discharged from his day job, but I guess we can't really go into detail about that. I've been kind of wondering myself. Archie is the Vacheron of watch channels, says Louis Toledo. He's great, but broke.
Sorry about that. As I was saying, Breguet themselves there, right? You're asking me about Breguet, right?
Right.
The Type 20 is what I just thought was so cool. I love the design. I love the numerals, the Art Deco numerals. They're not Breguet numerals. Breguet numerals are something different again, but they're Art Deco numerals. It's It really is a very, very cool looking watch. And I got to tell you guys, I think, okay, it's probably not the most classic Breguet model, but it's also not bullshit either, because Breguet had a very strong aeronautical background. Right. They invented these. The Type 20 was actually a government type of requirement, because Breguet is not the only ones who made Type 20. They had to make a chronograph which was under 40 mil. It needed to be a flyback chronograph so they could use it in flight. Flyback means you don't need to stop the chronograph. You can just reset it whilst it's running. Now, Lemania, you got to remember this. Many of the expensive Pateks use Lemania movements. Great things like the 3970 perpetual calendar chronograph that uses a Lemania movement. So this is a pretty good thing. The only negative, it's not a column wheel chronograph. It's a cams chronograph, a little bit cheaper.
Okay.
Because that's kind of like the really expensive chronographs tend to be column wheel with a vertical clutch. Okay. But this is still, Clyde, this is a beautiful piece. And I got to tell you, I think Breguet, I wouldn't recommend anyone buy Breguet new. But no. This is so cheap. Does it really matter? He's factored in that depreciation. And I got to tell you, it's how it is. I just can't believe how cheap it is there. I mean, they were expensive watches. That's only a new watch. It's only a very it's just amazing buy. But I got to tell you, in all honesty, there, if you buy it cheap enough, does it really matter? You know what I mean? No, it's not the classic. It's kind of iconic. It is. It's a Breguet is a beautiful thing to have there, but it's a bit like, you remember Chrysler in the 1920s. Chrysler was like America's answer to Mercedes. They were a really quality, expensive car.
Right.
Now, they've kind of stuck on the Chrysler badge far too many times, and they're a piece of shit. They're not a Chrysler of yesteryear. Does that make sense or not?
Kind of like Longines in a way.
Actually, probably not as bad as Longines. Longines really has cheapened the brand. You know, that they were Longines was like a Rolex, and now they make a lot of quartz watches. You know, a Longines watch is sold every 10 minutes in the world somewhere.
Oh, I can imagine that, but they still have some brand recognition. Nathan K is saying, Sunday show, what a sweet surprise.
Hey, that's very
Doing
kind.
It all for the fans. Archie, aren't you?
All for the fans. That's exactly it. And I got to tell you, I've been a little bit down lately, so I watch a lot of depressing things on YouTube. I've been watching Hoarders on YouTube. Just type in Hoarders. Right. All these, they've got hoarding programs in the UK, and I can see a few similar. I'm actually, I tell you honestly, I want to actually minimalize. This sounds ridiculous, right?
No, it doesn't.
I would like to have. There's a guy I was reading about minimalization. The guy who has 250 items. That's all he has in his life.
In the trend towards small houses.
Yeah. So I'm working towards it. Look, it's a little bit of a goal. It's a bit like the weight loss. I should be doing something there. I don't know. I just been a bit. Look, things will get better. Now, as for you, Clyde.
Oh, what did Chrysler make? I mean, not Chrysler. Sorry, Rolex. Mm-hmm. What did they make as a chronograph before the Daytona?
Well, they actually had they did have there are watches before the Daytona. I think they also used a a non-oyster case as well. Rolex chronographs themselves, there are very, very valuable things.
When I was at Clifton's Watch Hospital having the 111 seen about as a favor for Uber-Oki, since it's right down the street. That's actually echo the thing. Trust me with something like that.
Yeah.
I was talking about the National Association of Watch and Clock Collectors in Arlington, and he was saying, he was mentioning the fact he was wanting to take that down there. He's got one. He said what it was, and of course, but I had 5 things going at the same time.
Yeah.
But he's basically talking it's 6-figure value to it. Kid had his kid was there. His adult kid was there with him. He had a couple of Panerais.
They actually, I got to tell you, Rolex had things like they had some teardrop cases. These were non-oyster cases. These were chronographs that Rolex had there. They had some really. These are hugely valuable things. They are worth a fortune, absolute fortune. I got to be honest with you. You know, I kind of vintage Rolex. I do love these things, but I kind of like more modern thing. I don't know. The vintage chronograph Rolex is so unattainable, so expensive.
Well, he was saying he had one. He was thinking about putting it up for sale, but he would have to fly it out himself personally. He said, "I would not trust anyone to post it."
How much are we? 6 figures, he said.
Yeah.
Well,
well, then again, you kind of wonder though. His kid had a couple Panerais, but then he mentioned that one of them was a Ferrari chronograph, and I kind of lost a little respect for the kid.
Yeah, the Ferrari Panerai. I don't know what it is. You know, you'd think Ferrari is one of the coolest brand. Well, it is one of the coolest brands in the world, right?
Right.
But Ferrari on a watch tends to be terminal. I don't know why. Because I tell you who had a long association with Ferrari and wristwatches was Gerard Breguet. They had many Gerard Breguet Ferrari versions. That's sort of the original ones.
Right.
It's funny. Sometimes these watches, they tie themselves to a luxury car brand. Like, I don't know if you know this, IWC had the Porsche design. They used to make the Porsche design watches.
You mean Porsche?
No, Porsche design.
Porsche.
Porsche. But Porsche is when you buy a new one. When you buy a second-hand one, it's a Porsche. And brand new one's a Porsche.
Okay.
Second-hand one is a Porsche. Okay.
Gotcha.
So these IWC Porsche designs are incredibly valuable. I'll just grab that.
Do you want to take that? You want to read that, and I'll take some comments off the boards? Okay. Let's see. Captain Zed wonders, is it... No. Sorry, that's another one. Kurt Rafferty is wondering if you would, if he could trade you a pizza for your IWC. I'd say that's a no. Dylan Boyd said, Clyde, you should buy an Apple Watch. They're made in-house by slaves. Well, no, they're actually outsourced to slaves. But I have one. The black stainless steel, the upmarket one. Captain Zed is wondering, are two-tone Daytonas a mistake to buy? And it really kind of depends upon the model, the make and the model. It's any sort of Rolex watch, a two-tone is always the least popular one. Stainless steel is the more iconic one. Obviously, stainless steel is more popular than two-tone, but if you can get a good price on one, why not? I was a little bit slow in pulling the trigger on a two-tone Daytona. Zenith El Primero in Arkansas back at the beginning of the year, and I kick myself every day. It was one of the Mark II floating cosmograph dials. Captain Zed is wondering, are two-tone Daytonas a mistake to buy?
I don't think there's anything wrong with a two-tone Daytona. They're cool.
Huh.
They're cool. Actually, everyone criticizes the two-tone Daytona. I had a friend of mine who wanted one a couple years ago. They're hard to get. It's hard to get a good two-tone. They're actually coming up in... I just had a Scotsman fan of mine in Sydney. He just bought a two-tone Daytona, and yeah, they're expensive. They're not a cheap watch. The new Daytonas, they're not cheap. They are not cheap.
No. Not as nearly as popular as the stainless steel, but I think that's true in general. Stainless steel is more popular, period. Two tones are a little bit more available because of the Rolex Fonzie scheme.
Yes.
They're a little bit more plentiful, but I think eventually, I think we've talked about this a few times, the stainless steel appreciate in price and then eventually lift the two tones up with them. Sort of like my Rolex black nipple dial GMT.
That is your one that got away, isn't it? The one that got away. There was a two-tone Daytona that got away from you, didn't it, Clyde? We all miss out on deals because of money. You know, we're short and.
Well, I just bought the President a couple of weeks before, so I was skinned a little bit, and then that came up. I'm like, shoot, and then someone was flipping it in the same area for twice as much. But then again, you can't blame someone for wanting to make a buck.
No, that's exactly it. There, it's how is Oklahoma? Can I ask you that? I've been looking around the internet, and I see that the Midwest has got a really big meth problem. Is that true or not true?
Always been true. Meth is the working class drug of choice.
Tell me this: the Reagans, they were very anti-marijuana. They thought marijuana was the evil,
the gateway drug.
I think they kind of got that wrong. But seriously, this meth problem in America, how bad is it? How bad is meth in America?
It's always been bad.
I mean, you are a leading defense attorney, right?
I am a defense attorney, I'll be honest, but I do handle primarily CDS cases.
CDS, what's CDS?
Controlled dangerous substances.
Okay, how much meth problems are you seeing there?
Plenty. It's predominant, basically.
And can meth addicts afford to use your services, or
only if it's peddling? Well, sometimes, usually, if someone's distributing it, if someone's selling it, they're either doing it, making extra, and selling the rest to support their habit, or they're not using it at all, and they're just simply trying to make a quick buck. The ones who are not hooked on it are the ones most likely to be able to afford the services of an attorney.
And is it destroying America? You think meth? I mean, if you could have anything in this world, what would it be? I mean, besides material goods for yourself, if you could have peace on earth, you could get rid of ISIS, or you could get rid of meth. What would be the number one? What would you say? What would you wish for?
Peace on earth, get rid of ISIS, or get rid of meth.
Yes.
It would probably be get rid of meth. Because if we didn't have so many people hooked on meth, we'd have more people to fight ISIS and ultimately achieve peace on earth. I
see. So tell me this: is it sad for you as an American to see meth so rampant?
Well, yeah, it always is. People destroying themselves. Meth literally rewires the brain the first time it's used.
Yes, it's like think of it this way: an orgasm is 2 on a dopamine scale. Mm-hmm. Meth is like 1,000. Incredibly hard to stay off of, and it's like I said, it's the working class drug of choice, because usually it's I've got to work. I've got to work my ass off to pay the bills. I know a couple of friends that are just doing a little bit
little tiny hits of meth now and
See,
then. Just
meth is
stay
so
up.
much more dangerous than just amphetamines.
Right.
It's so much more dangerous than just an amphetamine, isn't it? Like truck drivers used to take speed. That was the old thing. Speed. You take some speed to keep going, right? That's why it was
Right.
called speed. But
Okay.
methamphetamines is a vicious son of a bitch, isn't it?
Right. Okay. Quick question. Why do meth heads love to do it doggy style?
Why?
Because they can both look out the window at the same time.
I don't quite get that.
Because you're really paranoid on meth.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, my meth head clients love that one. Also, SB is asking...
Can they get over?
Yeah.
Do you see any meth recovery?
I do, but I know a lot of personal examples. Not just through a business, you know, in friends and a program which I won't name.
Yeah.
But I knew one guy, he was clean and sober for a number of years, and he was holding up our clubhouse. He's really involved doing the deal. And he's saying, well, I'm not making it financially. I'm going to have to go on a rig. I'm like, well, that sucks. I know that's rough, dirty work. And he's like, you understand, Clyde, there is rampant meth abuse on those drilling rigs. It's the only way that, unless you're 18 and you're built like an Olympic athlete, it's the only way you could put in that type of work for those kind of hours. And when I saw him, he was a shell of a man. It was almost like science fiction, where like Life Force, where they're draining his life force away and almost leaving like a walking emaciated husk of a corpse. And he was that way, barely recognizable.
And why is that? Because you had to take the meth.
Yeah, to do the job that he had to do to make ends meet. And you don't really bounce back all the way.
And what's happened now? Has he gone off it now, or what's happened to him then?
I don't know. Frankly, it's been a while since I've run into him.
Why did he need money that badly? I don't understand why anyone in America would need money that badly.
Well, I don't know about Australia, but here in America, we generally require funds for goods and services.
I understand that, but your goods and services are rather cheap. You can buy a house for $50,000. You could buy a decent Cadillac for $5,000.
But on the other hand, I'd say our wages are depressed as well. It's a lot of time, our manufacturing jobs are all gone. It's service sector, you know, minimum wage. You can't really tell someone how cheap Cadillacs are if they're only making $8.85 an hour and having, you know, up to 40% of it taken from taxes.
40% taken in taxes? Bullshit.
Thereabouts, yeah.
What? How much?
Well, you know, keep it between Obamacare taxes and state taxes, yeah.
See,
also
in
every
our
time
country,
there's sales tax,
yeah.
there's sales taxes on necessities. So every time you buy food to feed your family, you then pay the state.
But see,
tax.
in my country here, if you say you earned 30,000 last year, right?
Right.
The actual tax on that is about $1,000. The income tax. That's it, because you're not earning much. So once you start to earn over 30, then you start to pay more. But do you understand? Like the first 20,000 is tax free. You don't have that in America.
No, it's possible to get a lot of depending on a sliding scale. It's possible to get a lot of the tax refunded, or a fair amount of it refunded at the end of the year. But you're still without that money, the use of that money, until the income tax refund.
But I've been watching a lot of Dave Ramsey lately too.
Right.
I like he's from the Midwest, isn't he, Dave Ramsey?
I'm not sure.
And I'm always amazed at how many Americans earn very little. They have huge student loans, huge car payments. They keep rolling the debt over into and they have huge credit card debts. Americans.
Yeah.
have very little to show for it. And I've just come out of a debt snowball, and I just can't believe how things are so bad. I've always looked up to America. I've always thought, you people, it's the greatest country on earth. You can always make it. You can make it. If you can make it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Sinatra song, My Way, or New York. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Remember,
if I can make it here, I'll make it anywhere. Right. Well, on the other hand, was it Mama Cass? Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. Or also, freedom also means the freedom to make mistakes. Some people make bad decisions. Some people have bad luck.
Mm.
What do you think is the iconic pizza? Beef and Reef?
I really love pepperoni. Just pepper. I find pizzas with less toppings tend to be better. Does that make sense? Like two or three ingredients. Like, I do love beef and reef, and I love it particularly with a bit of lemon. Squeeze a bit of lemon on it. So beef and reef is beef and seafood, like a bit of prawn on it. I love my beef and reef pizza. No questions about that. I also love something simple like just pepperoni. I think that's a fantastic pizza. Sometimes less is more. For everything you gain, you lose something.
I'd agree with that.
And I got to be completely honest with you there. I'm really in shock with America. I thought America was so. I used to look up to America. It was the land of the free, the greatest planet on earth,
the home of the brave.
Exactly, and there's a lot of good things in America, but there's a lot of not so good things too. It's sort of tell me this: if I came to Oklahoma, right? So
let me ask one question.
Sure, please do.
Is the speaking of the Japanese language mandatory in Australia?
No, why?
You're welcome.
What does that mean?
You can thank America that it's not mandatory.
Oh, but hang on a minute. Let's just rephrase that. Does every second person drive a Japanese car?
It's not mandatory. It's because they're making better cars. Competition.
Mm.
We even pay our enemies to screw us over. It's asking me, do I have a Patek? Asks Louis Toledo. No, the Pontiff is telling me I need to get out of the kiddie pool and get a Patek, but I'm not comfortable. Yeah, I'm not. I will eventually get out of the Rolex kiddie pool. I will eventually look for a Patek, but right now I'm just going to stay in the shallow end with my arm floaties of the horological pool.
Yeah. I just have one little bit of. Can I have a little bit of ice cream if you don't mind, Clyde?
No, go right ahead.
Oh shit! I ate the pretzel one's all gone. I've just got a little. I'm just going to have 1 spoon, 2 scoops. Okay.
Do they have gelato in Australia?
Yes, they do.
Sorbetto, especially, like a good tart raspberry sorbetto. Oh, wonderful.
I'm just having a little bit. Look at the flavor. Look at the flavor.
Murray River salted caramel with hazelnut. So much for basic. The next watch that's not a Rolex. Well, you know, hey, does everyone want to see Archie make a face? I just bought. No, not a surprise face. That would be an angry, disapproving, like I just went to the discount prawn buffet face. No, I just actually got a DeVos MG1 secondhand, and my Divas watch, DeVos, German made, EDA Swiss movement, like 4 days power reserve for $700. And the funny part is the people that are not watch idiot savants gravitate towards it. That catches attention, and it's not. It's definitely out of its place. So now, if you meant when's the next non-Rolex watch I'm going to buy that's not a shitter, Who knows?
Who knows? Now, Clyde, I wanted to talk to you. America itself, is it going to get through this myth crap or not?
It will. We always do. We always come out. Sometimes a little battered, sometimes a little bruised, but we eventually prevail.
Tell me this. As a kid in the 70s, you growing up in the 70s, right?
60s and 70s, yes.
If you knew now what you knew then, tell me, what is the biggest shock from that golden era that is bad about America?
From that golden era of the 60s and 70s, or in the 60s and 70s, what if I knew what was coming up?
What was the biggest shock? Is the biggest shock that manufacturing jobs would all be in China? Is it that meth would come along and destroy communities? Is it that Donald Trump would become president? What's the biggest shock?
Well, in the 60s and 70s, Donald Trump was still in school. So the fact that made in the USA no longer would apply. I am actually old enough to remember when Toyotas and Hondas were considered garbage.
Yes.
When we looked down on Japanese-made goods and said, cheap pieces of crap.
Then it became Hong Kong goods. Goods made in Hong Kong were cheap pieces of crap. And then it filtered through to, so it's the car industry. Did you always think you would drive American cars?
Well, no. I mean, we've always been practical and pragmatic. Dad always drive. I remember Dad had like a '77 Monte Carlo, silver one that was just badass.
Yeah,
having to squeeze. But then again, Mom always drove a Volkswagen.
A Beetle, you mean?
Yeah. Well, Beetle is a type of Volkswagen. Sister's driving MGBs, so
okay.
Not necessarily.
Did you think Cadillac would become a laughing stock that it has become?
What would become a laughing stock?
Cadillac.
No. Cadillac was always premier.
Is it premier now? When they did the Cinnamon, what did you think of that? Could you stop laughing?
We gave her so much hell. I mean, we gave her a ration and a half of shite about that.
She bought a new one?
Yeah, she bought a new one. And her husband was the district judge for like 3 or 4 counties.
Yes.
We're like, are things all right at home? Could you not afford a real Cadillac? Do you need any help?
Was it that bad a car? Did she like it or not?
I'm sure she did. But she basically told her she got hosed. I saw her coming a mile away. And
what did she get after that?
I can't remember because eventually we graduated from high school. Let's see. Can you please put something on the walls behind you? I still have the Tower of Eiffel behind me.
Yes, you do. And you got the mattresses there. Mattresses. Could we just have a look around the room? I'm just curious. What is the room?
No.
Please.
No.
Just have a little move around. Come on.
No. See, they don't pay. I'm the second banana. I'm just here to amuse you. It's the pontiff. It's the pontiff that people are here to see. You don't want to. No one wants an entire fucking evening of Ed McMahon. Sorry.
Now tell me this.
Or Barney Rubble. They're there to see Homer Simpson.
Clyde, I got to ask you this. In all honesty, America itself, there, you're very patriotic. You joined the reserve, didn't you?
Yes.
And you wanted to go to Iraq, didn't you?
The first time, yes. But they wouldn't let me. By the time the second one came around, I'm like,
you changed your mind.
Hell no.
Are you still in the reserve yourself?
No, obviously not. Hell no.
Why is that? Why obviously not? Why obviously not?
There's no way. I barely met height and weight standards when I was in. I sure as hell don't meet them now, and I'd be older than the lieutenant on Full Metal Jacket. Handing out ammunition. Yeah. Especially even
Haven't you seen that? Haven't you seen that Tom Cruise movie about the lawyer? You could be an army lawyer there representing
a few good men.
A few good men. That's the one. You could be representing men for war crimes and that.
No, it wouldn't be bad, but no, it's that ship has already sailed.
You could become they'd make you a captain if you were a lawyer, wouldn't they?
I'd be pretty damned old for a captain.
A lieutenant?
Yeah,
would you be happy? Would you be happy with a lieutenant rank? What rank would you like?
Well, I had lieutenant rank, but no, I would not want lieutenant. I'd like to. Well, I don't want to be the world's oldest lieutenant. I do not want to wake up at 4 a.m. anymore unless I've got to take a. Anyway.
Yes. So okay, no. I see what you're saying now, Clyde. American cars. What did you lust after as a kid?
Like I said, I had a Trans Am in high school, so I mean, it's not like.
Did you want a Porsche? Did you ever? Can I ask you this? When you were in America, did you ever see like old Porsches cheap? Think, oh, that's a piece of crap.
Yeah, I had a friend in high school that had a 914.
I know the car, the mid-engine, first mid-engine, very square.
Yeah,
they were expensive.
Well, not at the time. It was kind of the cheapo Porsche.
You know, no. They were expensive when they were new, but they were okay. Right. I see. Yeah, it's and what happened? But any Boxsters like a 356, really early Porsches?
No, never saw any of those. The 914 was about the only person I ever knew with one. Yeah, I can remember like senior year, the homecoming, and I guess they picked the biggest nerds to transport the candidates around the football field. You know, various convertibles.
Yes.
And they're like, I was gonna Linda Parsons, who I was supposed to go, and it's just like, okay, Clyde, you're going to transport Linda Parsons in the Cadillac Bazaret's convertible. Like, okay. And they said, whoa, last minute change. Linda is going to be sitting on the Renault convertible. And I said, no, I'm staying with the caddy. I don't care who's on the back. Clyde's driving the caddy.
You drive the caddy?
It was, yeah. So I was taking Latasha Pitts around.
Was she cool?
Yeah, she really was.
Nice girl?
Yeah, really nice girl.
What happened to her now?
I don't know. I mean, Clinton is a small town, so we all pretty much scatter after high school. There's nothing really much, you know, all the wealth is in the hands of 4, 5, 6 families. And so if you want to make a living wage, unless you want to be pumping gas at a service or working at a counter of a service station when you're 45, you'll even go to the big city.
Oh, so you went to Oklahoma?
Well, I went to undergrad in Pennsylvania and then southwestern Pennsylvania, then went back grad school in Oklahoma City. Okay, I guess if this is addressed to me, do I hunt for Rolexes in Dallas like Craigslist or certain stores? No, Craigslist. I don't like used retail. The Pontiff is the used retail guy. I'm the Craigslist scavenger. And also this weekend, after that convention, I think I'm really going to save up for next year.
Wow!
You go to the convention again.
You got a buzz there that you don't get from methamphetamines, there, Clyde. I can see it in you. You're buzzing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean the thing is, I went with the Polar Explorer as a possible trading piece. The date I thought, why not? And I went with like 4,000 cash because I didn't want to do anything spectacularly stupid since summer is a slow time of year for me.
Yeah.
And when it's on Craigslist, you look up the piece, you research it, you analyze, you do Chrono 24. What are the odds? I mean, what are the reviews saying? What are user reviews saying? You kind of think, well, what's the long-term value? Is it on the depreciation curve or is it starting on the appreciation curve?
Yes.
What other examples are there around? analyze, analyze, analyze. And so by the time you go down there and make an offer, you are set. The convention, and even when it was not, this wasn't even the peak of it.
Yeah.
But it was like a Native American being in the middle of being right in the middle of the large buffalo herd with only 3 arrows.
I see. 3 arrows.
Oh. Yeah. So it's like, should I shoot that one? Should I shoot that one? Damn, damn, damn. Maybe the calf? No, the mom's going to get me if I do that. Maybe the bull over there. Bull and the meat's not going to be as bad, but, you know, that's more hide. That's a bigger teepee. You know, the wife is wanting a teepee expansion.
Yes.
So, yeah, it was almost vapor lock. Uber Okie has pulled me aside and said, Clyde, come here, take a break. Come here, sit down here, son.
How old is Uber Okie? How old is Uber Okie?
Late 70s, but really good guy. Just a good old boy. He's made his money and he wants to have some fun.
What business did he make his money in?
Pretty high up retired from federal service.
Okay. Yep, that's very good.
Yeah, he also knew our local guy, our local used retailer, and he said this guy was pretty high up in FEMA before he retired and went into and started buying up every Rolex. As a matter of fact, I noticed our local retailer, he was prowling around the same place. So it's like that's where he's getting his watches from, among other places. So it's almost like used wholesale. And there were so many. I mean, okay, GMT Pepsi 1, good condition, nice bracelet, $6,000. There's quite a few of those. I didn't see any bluesies. I thought about that later. It's like no bluesies. I can't explain why. There was a GMT 2 Coke, and of course they kind of turned up their nose at the Polar Explorer as a trading piece, but they're like, I'm like, well, okay, well, there's other people here. I'll just go. I just got in here. They're like, whoa, son, let's talk. Let's not be hasty. Let's talk a little bit. So the guy with the Coke and the guy with the Pepsi were sitting next to each other, and they were bashing on each other's watches in front of me. It's kind of interesting. I didn't buy either one. Uber Okie was the insider, so he was telling me there's 2 types of people there. You've got used retailers who are there to skin you alive if possible. You've got collectors and, basically collectors, bored collectors wanting to churn their collections or find other pieces. And I sat and looked around and I said, that's funny. Those are the sharks over there, right? Yeah. He said, they're right by the door, aren't they? They paid extra. They paid a premium to get by the door. The collectors are around the sides or in the back. They didn't pay as much money because I kind of figured that part out. Okay, you were talking. The bluesy transitional, the 2-tone.
Yep.
16803. But you were saying, well, that's nice, but you should have got a black nipple dial, right?
Yeah.
Black nipple dial, 16803, 5500.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually got someone who wants you to find a watch for them. Would you consider having a watch finding service, or you're not really? No,
because time wasters and tire kickers.
Yes,
the guy over here, it's just like telling him, kid, he's wanting the lowest price. He wants to sit there and dicker about it and analyze it and try to poo-poo everything.
Fair point.
Yeah, and so it's just like, so you want to negotiate him down and then hold it for like half a week while you drive into town. And if anyone comes in and wants to pay them more money, they're supposed to wait. Life doesn't work that way. Sorry.
Life doesn't work that way.
No.
It's
just like if you were selling a watch and someone came along and offered you more money, you'd take it. Obviously. But so it's almost like a Generation Y sense of entitlement in a way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Clyde, I'm gonna have to cut this short soon because I've got to go and take the kids to the park.
Are you gonna fire up the grills?
No, I'm just gonna go for a walk. Just go for a walk there.
Exercise is good. It's therapeutic.
Yeah. So, Clyde, I got to shoot off, my friend.
All right.
It's been great having you here.
There's a question for there is a question for me, but I think it's a question for the pontiff. One quick one.
Yep.
No, all the FEMA money does not go to Clyde's stomach. Sorry. We don't know where our FEMA money's going now. Sorry, I skipped along. What do you think is the premier luxury watch to attract women?
I don't think it makes any difference, to be honest with you.
What would be the best one to repel women? And let me make it harder. You cannot choose the IWC.
I don't think it makes any difference. They're only interested in what you can do for them. They're not interested in... Hey, you just hang on there. I just got to check. I'm just going to check something. I'll be back in a minute. You just...
No. Okay, sure. Charles Lewis, no, I'm wearing shorts. I'm going, you have to keep in mind the pontiff is part of the EIP, the Excellence in Pantlessness Network. I do not need a prostate check. I don't know if you're offering, but no. God, I'm sorry. I totally screwed up the comments. Kurt Rafferty drove a Corvair in high school. You were a brave man. Hopefully you're at the end of whatever line you were driving to. I'm not going to prove I'm wearing pants because I'm not wearing pants. Let's see. No, actually, I do not have curtains. I have Venetian blinds. Sorry. You're not going to have a look around the room. Clyde can't show us his room because he is in a prison cell and the webcam is fixed to the wall. And by the way, that I'm not trying to burrow out. That's not a picture. That's the Eiffel Tower, not Raquel Welch. I'm 5'11". I'm just a little hair under 6 feet. I spend all my money on watches, and yet he lives like a gypsy. I don't know if that's addressed to him. I don't know if that's addressed to me. But on the other hand, the concept of socialism is where you feel entitled to tell other people what they have to do with their money.
Exactly. So, thank you so much.
Yeah, I even like Bernie. I'm not that bad. I'm not that big of a socialist. They could use Clyde as a pylon in the military. Yeah, probably.
What? We have chocolate.
We don't have any chocolate.
You said yes.
Hey, sorry. Hey, Clyde, I got to shoot off here now. I got to take these kids out. They're getting bored.
Not a problem.
It's been great.
Americans, happy 4th of July, America.
I'll be back in a few hours if you want to do something, okay?
Yeah, I'll be up for a couple hours.
I'll text
you.
You.
For 2 hours.
I'd like to talk about the downfall. Made in America, is it? Okay, I gotta go. See you later.
All right. Happy 4th of July.